Hi everyone, welcome to the muster drill. I'm Scott, and Carnival is changing more itineraries. Cruise passengers are receiving a warning about St. Martin, and Disney is expanding. Hi everyone, welcome back. So, Carnival has put out an announcement about itinerary changes on multiple ships for 2022 and 2023, and talk about advance notice. So the ships that are involved are the Breeze, the Liberty, the Ecstasy, and the Sunshine. Most of the stops seem like they are Bahamas related, so Carnival hasn't said what the issue is. They haven't announced it one way or the other, if it was due to maintenance or any other kinds of issues. More than likely this is what it is. More than likely the itinerary changes are coming from just a lack of available slots in these different Bahamian stops. So most of it was like private island issues, as well as like Nassau and Bimini. So as we know, Scarlet Lady is sailing now, and Bimini was supposed to be an exclusive stop for Virgin Voyages, at least for the foreseeable future, and they were not sailing right away. So Carnival was taking advantage of that lack of stops there to make some stops there. I really love Bimini. It's probably my new favorite Bahamas stop. So in any event, they have basically issued the standard announcements to all of the affected passengers on these sailings, which are, they're gonna cancel any excursions that will be affected. They'll be issuing refunds or OBCs or FCCs for those. Now, when I was on the Carnival Horizon, we did not receive advance warning, to this extent. I mean, these are for 22 and 23 sailings. And it was really a bummer because I'd had, that was my birthday cruise, so I had everything planned out, and we were going to be in Bimini on my birthday, so I was going to the Bimini Beach Club and was going to have a good time there that day. And they completely flip-flopped it on us, and it was, last minute. Like, we didn't even find out until we were on the ship, so it was very disappointing. We actually went to the excursion desk. So this Bimini Beach Club, you cannot book the Bimini Beach Club through the cruise planner before you're on the ship. You have to book it once you're on board. So we go straight to the excursions desk, went in and said, listen, this is what we want. And they were like, okay. And they told us about the other options too, where you can get like food and drinks. And in my opinion, that's not worth it, just because based on like what the food costs, like you could get the average entree item combo thing or whatever at the Bimini Beach Club is about $15. However, the price difference for the excursion that adds just the food option is $25. So you're paying a $10 premium. I don't know why you would do that. Just book the regular Bimini Beach Club and then buy lunch if you're really that hungry when you're there anyway. So, in any event, we went to the excursions desk, we booked it. They didn't say anything to us about, oh, hey, by the way, you're going to be, we're not going to be there on the 29th now, we're going to be there tomorrow. So once we heard the announcement about the itinerary change, we looked at our tickets. Well, sure enough, our tickets had the next day date on them. But they didn't say anything to us about it. So then, of course, we went and canceled it, and we got our money back. But, so that was kind of a bummer not finding out to the last minute. So at least these passengers are able to find out about it, well in advance, so they can, plan accordingly. Like I said, my guess is that with all of the new ships coming online and with the restart, expanding, so there's more ships sailing and everything else, it's just a lack of dock space. I mean, it's just a lack of places for the ships to dock and for the people to get off. So anyway, in kind of an unrelated, separate announcement from Carnival was that the Carnival Sunshine is going to be undergoing some maintenance. They, of course, are canceling a couple of sailings, and they've, announced that 3-4 years or so before the pandemic. Carnival was really lacking in maintenance in some of its ships, and it seemed like there was like 3 or 4 ships inside a span of like 2 years that had major maintenance issue and had broken down. People were trapped on the ship for like days and days while tugboats, very slowly crawled that ship back to whatever port it was from. People were trapped on the ship. The toilets didn't work. The food, the kitchen wasn't working. They didn't have any water. I mean, it was terrible, right? And of course, all the main press was there, to meet the ships and to talk to the people. And compensation was, that cruise was free, and you get, a free next cruise, and whatever else. But the point is that Carnival's definitely stepped up their maintenance program on their ships, which is obviously a great thing. And sometimes these things happen unforeseeably, so that's why they kind of came out and said, okay, these Sunshine cruises are canceled because of maintenance, so it's a good thing. So moving on from that, Royal Caribbean announced to its passengers that are visiting St. Martin to avoid the French side of St. Martin due to civil unrest. Now, this would be the second time that Royal Caribbean has run into a civil unrest issue in one of its ports. The first time was with Labadee. It completely canceled its calls to Labadee because of civil unrest in that country. So in any event, the French, we all know, okay, so Europeans have this really, compared to US standards, the Europeans have the most amazing working conditions, a human could ever want. They get tons of vacation, they get tons of time off, they get to take, like long lunches, and they have all these workers' rights and all this other stuff and everything. They get paid, tons of money and everything. So anyway, I was about to say that, right? So anyway, they, so they have really good conditions compared to U.S. standards, but apparently it's still not good enough. So the French workers on the French side of St. Martin are, protesting and screaming at their government that they still don't have enough rights, and they still don't have enough, liberty, their working conditions still aren't good enough. So they're staging all these public protests and everything else. Now, it's likely that cruise passengers are not in danger on, if they would visit the French side. Mostly what's been happening is they've been like blocking traffic and things like that and stuff with their protests. So I think the concern would be, would they be able to get to their destination, and or would they be able to get back to the ship on time? So I think that's the big issue. So, they're being encouraged or told, really stay away from the French side of it. Luckily, the ships come in on the Dutch side of it, which is, in my opinion, the nicer side of the island anyway. So they're being asked to avoid that, side. So they're being asked to stay on the Dutch side of the island. So then the last thing I wanted to talk about today is Disney has announced some expansion. So, Disney sails from Miami and from, Port Everglades, as well as their primary port is Port Canaveral for obvious reasons. It's fairly close to Orlando. So Disney has just announced that they entered into a new 15-year deal with Port Everglades to basically expand their operations, their sailing from that port year-round. They were sailing only certain times of the year from there, and now they are going to be sailing. They're going to have a ship stationed there 365 days a year, and they're going to be sailing from Port Everglades. So that's awesome news, because it's an additional option for for families and stuff that want to get on Disney. And Disney's going to be investing like $20 million into upgrades to the terminal. Now, the terminal they're going to be using just recently received like $120 million upgrade. It was mostly to its parking and stuff like that. So now Disney's going to invest an additional $20 million to kind of bring the terminal up to Disney standards. So that's excellent news. We love when those investments are made, makes our experience in the terminals, definitely a better one, and it's welcome news. Believe it or not, Disney has decided that they want to get into the sports betting business. So they have announced that they are going to start doing sports betting centered around their ESPN division. So it's a very interesting move for Disney for, if you may or may not know this, but Disney cruise ships are the only cruise ships that don't have casinos on them, and it's for obvious reasons. It's a family-centric, family-oriented cruise line. So they don't have, casinos on board, and casinos are a huge part of cruising for a lot of people. So it opens the door maybe. I mean, possibly if Disney's going to expand into sports betting, which is a unlikely thing that you would think from such a family-oriented organization, that possibly the next logical step would be that Disney would decide that they want to put casinos on a ship. So that obviously was not part of the announcement, and it'll remain to be seen. It's not likely to happen soon, but in any event, I thought it was interesting that Disney has decided to go down that road. So I think that's going to do it for the news, and I just wanted to announce one final thing. I wanted to remind everyone I'm going on the Royal Caribbean Mariner of the Seas, so I'm really looking forward to that cruise, and I can't wait to take everybody along with me on board, and we're going to be visiting Perfect Day, Coco Cay, as well as Cozumel, Mexico, and I haven't been to Mexico in many years, so I'm really looking forward to that as well, and I can't wait to be bringing you videos from on board and from the different ports and stuff, so I'm really excited about that. I wanted to remind everybody about that. So I think that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and if you like this video, don't forget to click that like button, and then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It won't cost you anything. You click it once and you're done, and it'll really help us out a lot. Thank you so much to the recent subscribers that have come on board. We really appreciate your support, and then don't forget to click that notification bell so that you know every time we upload a new video. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.